I've been in the motorhome industry for longer than I choose to admit. I've seen all the mistakes that people have made when they're buying motorhomes, but I've also helped thousands of people in finding the perfect motorhome for them. I used to work for dealerships, but now I'm freelance. I completely work for myself. I give an unbiased opinion on the demonstrations I do of motorhomes, but also today's video is basically about helping you find the perfect motorhome and basically not letting you make the mistakes that I've seen other people make whilst buying them. So this can really help you out if you are searching for a motorhome, and hopefully it will stop you hitting bumps and walls and things as you're going along. Let's go. So you're going to have to bear with me as we're going through these. Some of these things you'll think are unimportant and you already knew it, but others you're going to really think, do you know what, Jonathan, thank you so much. I wouldn't have thought of that, and it's really helped me out. So number one, check your driving license. Massive mistake customers make when they're looking for motorhomes. They don't check their driving license. They fall in love with a motorhome that they can't actually drive. Now, if you're over 70 years old, they automatically take one of the licenses away from you, which is called a C1, unless you apply before you reach 70 to keep it on your license. Also, if you're one of the younger generation coming into motorhoming, then you probably haven't got the C1 on your license. If you're wondering what's he talking about a C1, what I actually mean is a class 1 license. And this you will need if you want to drive a motorhome that weighs over 3.5 tons. I've put a link in the description below that will actually direct you straight to a website which will explain all of this to you. So have a good look at that if you don't know what I'm talking about. Number two, if you're looking into motorhomes, you've got this fantastic fantasy in your mind about how it's all going to go. You're going to be traveling all around Europe. You're going to have the freedom to do whatever you like and go wherever you want. Is this the reality for you? We don't know until we try, do we? So number two on the list is hire a motorhome before you buy one. If you buy one before hiring, you don't like the motorhome or the experience itself, you are going to lose quite a bit of money. Now, dealerships will tell you they've got a good residual value, the motorhomes hold their money, but actually if you buy a motorhome and sell it back within a few months, you are going to lose quite a bit of money. So this is going to really help you out. Not only does hiring the motorhome help you out in knowing whether you're going to like a motorhome or not, it'll also give you a first-hand experience of campsites, meeting people who have motorhomes. And these people, trust me, are full of good information and knowledge. You can talk to people on the campsites, ask them the do's and don'ts of motorhome, what they think works for them and how they chose their layout or how they chose their motorhome, which is all going to help you in buying a motorhome for yourself. Also, when you hire a motorhome, you're going to know how it feels to drive one. You're not driving a mini metro around or a little smart car, you're driving a big motorhome, and some people get really worried about driving down the country lanes and things like that. Others don't, but some do. So number two, hire a motorhome. Number three, check whether you're in a low emission zone. So if you're in central London, I believe Manchester, Birmingham, places like that, then you are going to be in a low emission zone. What this means is if you've got a vehicle that hasn't got a clean engine, so a Euro 6 or more, then you're going to be charged for emission where you live. So every time you take your motorhome out, you're going to be charged, I think it's like £12.50, but do check it out on the government website. So if you do live in a low emission zone, you need a Euro 6 engine. What this means is that the vehicle needs to be around 2016, 2017 onwards. So when you're looking at vehicles, check whether they've got a Euro 6 engine, and that'll either save you from paying your emissions if you're living in these low emission areas, or it'll future proof you if you're going to be traveling around Europe, going into Paris and places like this. So number three, do you live in a low emission zone? And check whether you're going to need a Euro 6 engine. Number four, where are you going to keep the motorhome? People rush into these dealerships, they buy a motorhome, and do you know what? Sometimes, and trust me, it does happen, they realise it doesn't fit on their drive. So where are you going to keep it? If you're going to keep it at home, make sure you measure your driveway, make sure that the gate's wide enough, make sure you can swing in off your road into the driveway and you're not going to bash down your new £5,000 electric gate on the front. Make sure that you've got enough space to keep it. Also, you're going to be able to work out from measuring the drive, measuring your gates and things like that, what size motorhome you're going to need. So you might want a huge motorhome, but if you're going to keep it at home, some people can only really have a compact vehicle. Another thing is, if you're not going to be keeping it at home and you're going to be keeping it in storage facilities, then do check out those storage facilities online or speak to them on the phone and make sure they've got availability. A lot of people buy a motorhome thinking they're going to get storage locally, and at the moment, with motorhomes being so popular, it's actually very difficult to find a spot. You'll often be put onto a waiting list and you might be waiting for a long time. So don't buy a motorhome, get stuck without storage, and don't buy a motorhome and not be able to take it onto your driveway. So one of the big things is where you're going to keep it. Also, I've heard customers say to me before that they live in an area where they're not allowed motorhomes on their drive. So do check out with the local council whether they've got any funny rules that you are not actually able to keep a motorhome on your driveway. And in that case, you are going to have to find storage. Number 5, research layouts. Now, if you haven't come across my channel before, then do check out the channel. I've got around 100 videos doing video demonstrations of all the motorhomes you can think of. So we walk around motorhomes showing you all the layouts inside and outside and give you a really good idea of which motorhome or which layout's going to suit you best. Have a good think about it. Sit down with a pen and paper, write what you're going to need with a motorhome. Are you going to need to take extra people with you? Are you going to need extra seat belts? Are you going to need big garages for storage? What extras are you going to need? All this sort of stuff is really important. Another thing to consider as well is you're not really going to know what layout you really need until you've used the vehicle. So going back to number 2, you're going to rent one out. That will give you a bit of an idea as well of what you're going to need with a layout. So if you follow these exactly to the T, by the end of this, hopefully we'll get a good result for you. But yes, this one, check out layouts, look into them, have a look into my videos, look in and out of all the vans and work out what's best for you. Number 6, how much do you want to spend on a motorhome? Now this is a massive question. I have come across people, hundreds of people, who had a budget of £15,000 and ended up spending £60,000. And the reason this is because nowadays to buy a motorhome that's relatively new, you're going to have a big budget. So you've either got quite a lot of money in the bank that you're willing to spend and you're happy to spend, or you're going to have to finance them. Now, if you are going to budget for a motorhome, then do check out online exactly what you can get for the money, because unfortunately nowadays around £20,000 is only going to get you a relatively old motorhome. Now for some people that is perfect, and to be honest, when you're new to motorhomes, I'd probably recommend that you try something a little bit older just so that you can get the feel for it before you go into the big time and hit the sort of VIP vehicles. So talking about money, another thing to consider is when you're buying a motorhome, when you're financing them, it's normally going to be quite expensive. So for example, if you're looking at a £50,000 vehicle and it was going to cost you £900 per month, are you going to use the motorhome enough to basically justify that £900 per month? So if you're not, you can think to yourself, well, I can hire one once or twice per year and it's not going to cost me a huge amount of money to hire. So sometimes hiring is a better option than actually buying. So check your budget, check what vehicles can be bought for that budget. And sometimes, do you know what, guys, if you want to be rolling around in one of these brand new Carthagos at £200,000, for a lot of us, it's not affordable. So have a good think about that before you actually go to a dealership looking at vehicles. Don't be kind of pushed into buying something that's out of your budget, which you're not going to be happy with because you've spent too much money. So that's a big thing. Check your budget before you go into a dealership and look around. Number 7. Now, People often ask me, what's the best cab to get? What engine's the best with these motorhomes? Which one should I go for? And to be honest with you, most motorhomes are built with a very sturdy engine. So you're looking Ford, Fiat, Mercedes, and Citroen, things like this. Now, these vans have actually been made to be a workhorse. They were originally designed to be thrashed around the country by, you know, an 18-year-old, a 30-year-old, the white van man doing hundreds of thousands of miles, blasting around. So to be honest with you, the engines on motorhomes are normally pretty reliable. If it was me, I wouldn't really be thinking too much about what engine's on the front. I would be thinking more about the habitation on the back of the vehicle and whether that's comfortable for me. Number 8, should I buy a manual or should I buy an automatic? So a manual gearbox or an automatic gearbox. Just to give you a quick rundown on those, obviously an automatic gearbox, some people much prefer because it just saves you trying to concentrate on changing the gears as you're going along. So it's just one thing less to actually worry about whilst you're driving. Manual gearboxes, they do use a little bit less fuel. So in a sense, that can be good. And also it can be good that a manual gearbox is normally less expensive to buy than an automatic. So manual and automatic, I'd probably recommend that you do test drive manual and automatic to see which is suitable for you and to see whether you want to spend that extra money in buying one. Another thing to point out if you do go for an automatic is actually the automatic gearbox motorhomes tend to hold their value a little bit better than the manuals, so that could be a plus for you as well. Number 9, try and buy from a dealership which will give you a back to base warranty. What this means is that actually if you have a problem with that motorhome, you take it directly back to the dealership and they will repair the motorhome for you. So they're going to have their own workshop, their own mechanics, and they're going to sort all your problems out without any worries. A lot of dealerships sell motorhomes with an external warranty, so an insurance-backed warranty. And what this means, if you have a problem, basically the dealership has wiped their hands of you and you're going to need to call some sort of office, I don't know, in Newcastle, or somebody on the phone who's going to answer, who's had 100 phone calls that day, doesn't really care about you or your motorhome, and you're going to have to try and explain to them what's happened to the motorhome. And often they try and wiggle out of the claims. So they tend to say, oh no, that's down to wear and tear. This is down to wear and tear. So pretty much those warranties, you might as well screw them up and throw them out the window. They're not worth the paper they're written on, in my thinking. However, if you have a dealership which gives you their own warranty, a back to base warranty with their own mechanics, their own technicians, you are going to have somebody nice who's going to answer the phone to you and you're going to take it back to them. Another thing to consider with that as well is you should try and buy as locally as possible so that if you do have an issue, you're not driving from your house 5 hours away to get a windscreen wiper or something minor fixed. So look locally and look for somebody who gives you a back to base warranty. Number 10. Once you've done all of these steps and you're here at number 10, then now it's time to really start thinking about going to a dealership and having a look around these motorhomes. Don't be kind of drawn in by a salesman taking you around to motorhomes that he thinks will suit you. Now you've done your research, you can go around on your own, having a good look around at motorhomes and layouts face to face. A lot of times when you look at them online, you just don't get a good perspective of the layout and how much space you're actually going to have. So now that you've done all your research, have a good look around a motorhome dealership. Once you find one you think's the right size, the right width, all that sort of stuff, and you like the look of course, you're going to need to like the look of this thing, then go inside and start ticking off your list the things it has inside and whether those things are suitable for you. Check all the extras it has. Check whether it's got your solar panel, your reversing camera, your external barbecue, your awning, all these little things you need to check before you kind of jump in the deep end and purchase the vehicle. A motorhome salesman is just going to talk you into anything he wants you to have. And also he's going to tell you that extras you can buy later on, don't worry at all. But trust me, these extras that you add to it, like awnings and solar panels, they're very expensive. So do think about that when you're looking around the van. Number 11, Now you've found the van that you think is suitable for you, you like the look of it, it's got the extras that you like, now is the time to really start checking it for damage. Motorhomes tend to get knocked on the rear end as they're going around corners, they hit the tail into lampposts and things like that. I know it's not ideal, but this happens. So do check all around the vehicle to make sure that it hasn't got any damage or it hasn't got any areas that look like it's been bumped or bashed. Also check underneath the vehicle, make sure there's no rotting wood underneath the van, make sure there's no rust and things like that. And don't be scared to ask a salesman if he can get a ladder out for you and let you look on the roof. A big thing people don't do when they're looking for motorhomes is actually look on the roof of the vehicles. And sometimes the roofs can be quite damaged, things could have hit the roof or aerials could have been pulled off as they've gone underneath bridges and things like that. So take a really thorough look around the van and make sure you're happy with the damage or the no damage that you might have there. Also, a big thing that I'd probably say to invest in is a damp meter. You can buy these online for relatively cheap, around 40 or 50 pounds, and it might actually save you a huge amount of money in the future. Now, a damp meter can be taken around the van. You can probe the vehicle or put the damp meter onto the panels and it will tell you whether the vehicle has got water ingress. Massive problem with motorhomes is if they're damp. If a van's damp, they might dry out in the summer, but in the winter you're going to have water coming in, and trust me, once the water starts coming in on these motorhomes, you start damaging panels and then you're looking at potentially thousands of pounds of repair costs. So check the vehicle for damage. Recommend you getting a damp meter and having a good look around the van. Number 12. Now you've done all those things, sit in the van. If you're happy with it, you're happy with the condition, the layout and everything, sit in the van, go on your mobile phone and check other dealerships to make sure that the price they've got on that motorhome is comparable. You don't want to be buying a motorhome which is £15,000 over its listing price or what it should be. A lot of times I've seen motorhomes up for sale for a 10, 15, 20,000 pounds more than they should be. So do check online to make sure that that is a good price that you're looking at. Now, do be aware with this. If you're at a big dealership that is really well known, it's got a good reputation and they give you a good warranty, you have to understand you will pay a little bit more at these dealerships. And the reason you're paying a little bit more is to give you a lot of peace of mind. It's because you know you're going to be buying something that's decent. However, do still check online to make sure that you're not being completely ripped off. So check that out before you go to a salesman and purchase it. Number 13, always, I repeat, listen to me, always test drive the motorhome you're going to buy. Motorhomes are rattly. Not all of them, but most of them. So make sure that you're happy with that motorhome. So when you test drive it, you're going to be able to hear how loud it is when you're driving, how many rattles and bangs it's got, and also you're going to get a good idea of how comfortable it is to drive. Now, of course, they're not going to let you drive 1,000,000 miles because they don't want you to do that, but they are going to let you go around the block or go for a little drive with one of their salesmen, and that way you'll get a really good idea of how it feels when you're driving it. So that is a massive one for you guys. Test drive the motorhome before you buy it. Number 14, check the paperwork of the motorhome. Ask a salesman to show you all of the paperwork. You want to go through it all bit by bit, paper by paper. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel like you're wasting anybody's time. You're spending a lot of money and you need to know if everything's right. You need to see a HPI check to make sure that van's not got finance on it, it hasn't been damaged or it hasn't been stolen, things like that. You want to see all the damp reports, all the service history. You want to see any repair that's been done to it. And normally, if somebody's looked after the vehicle, they'll have a lot of paperwork for you to see. So check all the paperwork before you actually go ahead and buy it. If you see something in the paperwork that looks slightly off, you can speak to a salesman. He can either reassure you that everything will be okay and make you feel better about it, or it can completely put you off that vehicle. And once that happens, I'd recommend you move on to another van. Number 15, Now you've been through all of these items and you're still happy, you're still on the road to success, you're still on the road to finding the perfect motorhome. Now you need to ask the dealership what they're going to do to the van for you. You want to know whether they're going to give it an engine service, a habitation service. You need to check whether it's had a cam belt if it needs one. You need to know exactly what they're going to do to that vehicle before you pick it up. And this includes MOTs and all these sort of things, tyres and whatnot. Number 16, ask the dealership, are they going to demonstrate the motorhome to you? Are they going to show you everything working before you drive away? There's nothing worse than taking the motorhome home and realizing you've got light bulbs out, certain things aren't working, and having to take it straight back to the dealership. A lot of dealerships will do what they call a handover demonstration, and this is a big plus. But if they're not going to do a handover demonstration, then you need to know or need to find out whether they're going to show you everything working in the van before you collect it. So that is a big one. Are they going to demonstrate the van to you before you take it away? Number 17, we're nearly there, guys, don't worry. Number 17, negotiate the price. Don't be scared. Ask them if they can do something for you. Don't you dare leave that dealership without getting yourself a deal. I'm telling you, I don't want to hear that you guys have bought a motorhome and you haven't got a deal. They have profit in the motorhome. Whether they give you cash lump sum off of the vehicle or they give you an awning that you need or a solar panel that you need, make sure you negotiate. If you're anything like me, and it's true, I'm like it, I sit there and I don't say a word. I want to say something, but I don't because I'm shy in a sense. But don't be shy. Put your hard hat on, get ready for a war. Negotiate the price. Number 18, congratulations. Woo! Fireworks, yay! You have just bought yourself a motorhome. Now, you've got it, you're excited. Do not leave that motorhome on your driveway whilst it is in warranty. Use that motorhome as much as you can while it's still in warranty. Take it out, use it. Get rid of any teething problems it might have. So use it as much as you can. Now this could actually determine when you buy the motorhome as well. You might not want to buy it when it's -5 outside because you're not going to use it and it's going to sit on your driveway while it's in warranty. You're going to use it while it's out of warranty and find there's things wrong. So use the motorhome as much as you can when you first buy it. I'll hold you to it. You better do it. Now all there is to do is go and enjoy your motorhome. So go and bloody enjoy it. If you need some help on doing this, if you want me to help you directly, personally, then leave a comment below. I am now running a service where I help people find the motorhome that's perfect for them. So we'll go through lots and lots of different motorhomes that are available online on the internet. We'll find the motorhome that is perfect for you, that is closest to you. And not only that, I actually guarantee you that I'll get you at a discounted price. I'm helping you guys find a motorhome, but I'm actually doing it one-on-one. We can talk to each other on video chat, we can WhatsApp message, or we can just talk on the phone. And it doesn't matter whether it takes 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, we will find a motorhome which is perfect for you. So if you're interested in that, then do leave a comment below and we can go through that in detail and I'll find you something decent. And the best thing about it, I guarantee you a discounted price. My name's Jonathan. This is the One Motorhome channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Go and watch some of my videos on all the layouts. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.